Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the OrangePeelStudios. It's been quite some time since we uploaded a logo design tutorial or any tutorial on this channel for that matter. So we'll come back today to upload a tutorial. We're going to be doing a abstract W logo in Adobe Illustrator. So what we have here is three squares, which is the background color, which is this purple background color, which it has the hex code of 181530. And then we have these two gradients. You can print screen my screen and just copy the gradient, or if you want, I can bring you over here. And over here, you can print screen the screen and select from these two circles over here. And now let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is select the rectangle tool and draw out a rectangle. It automatically, for me, has brought it in with this gradient over here, but you will have to work on it, or not work on it. It will be probably a black or white, whatever last color, the previous color that you used. Or if you've already made the gradient, it may be the color of the gradient. But anyway, just make the rectangle. And I always like to make sure my rectangle sizes are at a rounded off point or at the nearest point. So instead of 93, I'm going to go to 100 or 95. You know what? I'll just go down to 90 because it's closest to 90. And with the height, maybe also changed, but for now, I just put it at 300. So we have a full dimension of 390. So we're just going to grab that, put that over there. Then what we're going to do is grab the direct selection tool and select the two, we'll select the two bottom nodes by selecting one, holding shift and selecting the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 5. And we'll hit 10 times to the right. Now let's click Control and scroll up. So we can, sorry, not Control. Alt and scroll up so we can just zoom in a piece. And now what we want to do is select the selection tool and just click Control and C, Control and F, like that. Then we're going to align them edge to edge. And now what we're going to do is click Control C, select them both. Again, align it. So there we have the makings of our abstract or our gradient W logo. And we're going to continue to style it as we go on. There's a few ways that we can actually style this logo, and there's a few ways that we can actually make this logo. So I'm going to go into at least three ways that we can style and change this logo so that it can work for three different, completely different, and it can look like, they will look similar because they're all W abstract gradient logos, but they will work for three. They could be given to three different clients. So let's select the artboard tool and click Control and copy, Control and paste, paste. So you have three artboards with the same color and the same logo. First kind of style we're going to do with this W logo will be simple. We're going to select the two left shapes of the W, the two left, and we're going to select this gradient. We're going to select the gradient tool, and we're going to go from up to down a little bit diagonally. Just give it a kind of shadowed look. Well, we're going to bring this one to front by clicking Control Shift and closing bracket, not the circle bracket, the square bracket. And we're going to do one more thing. Select the gradient tool, and you see how the gradient starts from the very top and down to the bottom. We're going to change it to start at this breakpoint over here. Yeah, you have that. You see, it looks more smoother and more to the fact that it has just it's behind and it's going around similar to a rhythm. What we're going to do, thing over here. Right? This one is perfectly fine. And you see how it looks. Some more work needs to be done on it, but it looks as if it's moving over the ground to create a W. So now, what can we add to this logo to make it stand out a little more and look, have a little more, and add a little more spice towards it to give it a more flair look, to give it a look. When we look at it, it looks really nice. One thing we can do to it is this. First thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this second logo over here, select the artboard and delete it. I'm going to delete the second logo. And I'm going to go back to the first artboard, select the artboard tool, and click Control and copy, Control and paste to duplicate it. So now we have how it looks, how it looked first over here, which isn't really good enough to be called a logo. You can see that it hasn't been started, it hasn't been finished, but there is something we can do with it. You see how it has this kind of style towards it, like it's a gradient style, but it looks like it's shadowed and almost like as if it's semi. I know this might sound weird, but semi-metallic, metallic. We're going to work towards that. But let's go over to here for our first logo, or our first artboard, and select the pen tool. Select the furthest node in the W on the right hand side to the at the top, to the furthest node left on the left hand side at the bottom. Just create a sort of curved shape and finish it off outside of the W. Just like that. So now we have a completed shape outside of the W. Now there's two things we can do with this. So what we're going to do, again, we're going to zoom out by clicking Alt and scrolling down our scroll tool, the artboard tool, copy and paste. And drag this under here only because it's a variant of it. And we're going to now zoom back in to our W. So we have our W here. What we want to do is copy three shapes that's covered. Then click Control and C, Control and F. Very important to do. And then we'll select our shape again and copy it. What we're going to do now is select the back with the W, the line, the shape of the W behind it. Go over to the Pathfinder tool and select Intersect. And we're going to paste it again by clicking Control and F to make sure it places in the exact same position, and do that to the other two. Now that we've done that, what we're going to do is give it the same gradient as the dark purple to pink gradient. Make sure to select all three shapes and give them that gradient. But this time, we're going to use the gradient tool to go from up to down. Now, why isn't that working to the effect that we wanted it to work with is due to the coloring of the third in line rectangle. So what we'll have to do is there's two ways that we can conquer it. The first way is we can grab the gradient tool and flip it like that. There. See how that looks. Then we will select our three overlay shapes and take the opacity down to 50%. Is the fact that these two are interlinking. So what we will do is select them both and unite. That is one way to deal with it, but it still doesn't have the desired look or feel that we were looking for. So we're going to click Ctrl and Z until the gradient has been turned back around. Reselect our three shapes and make them one shape. And this time we're going to give them the same color as the background. Still take the opacity down to 50%, or maybe more. We'll go down to 20. Now you see it's semi having the desire that we want to, but now I have yet another idea. This people is the process of designing logos. Never a time when you start to design a logo and you come up with the perfect concept straight away. Sometimes that might happen, but many times you won't come up with a concept, the perfect fit straight away. You usually have to make 1, 2, 3, or 4 different concepts before you finally decide one that you think fits your client or fits your logo, your business perfectly. So with the next one we're going to do, we're going to delete that. And then we're going to select both of these again, give them the color of the background, and bring it down to 20%. Now you see it looks much better. Now we have another problem. It's inconsistent. An inconsistency in logo design is not the most desired thing. Depending on what you're designing a logo for, most of the time the logo has to be consistent around all edges. But the inconsistency of having these two shine inconsistently isn't good. Let's delete that and see how this looks. Hit Control and C, Control and F, but align it to the second one. Has more of a consistent look, but can be slightly confusing. Let's see what happens if we round this edge. Let's zoom in to make sure. So what I've basically done has destroyed this logo. So we're gonna click Control and Z back to the point that we had it at before. Then both of these dark and give it an opacity of 20%. Now coming to look at this logo a second time, and we saw other ways that it could have turned out. Seeing the consistency of this logo makes it look a lot better. It's also very good to have this one over here because it mixes in well with the shadow to make it look like it's behind. So this is the final logo we'll be going with for this first draft. Please sit tight because we're going to go through the second logo and how we can use the same four shape to make a second W logo that looks different to the first one and can be used by a second business.